well. So we have some folks from outside as well. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to just start off now that I've finished setting up the YouTube live. So welcome all 18 participants. Some of you are already members. Welcome, Professor Pandurangan. Give me 2 minutes. Let me just set the floor up. All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate all of you coming at 6 p.m. on a Sunday evening. We have about 18, 19 members, and more will come as time progresses. Sincerely appreciate your time here. Okay, so the purpose of this AMA, Ask Me Anything. So let me just introduce my background. My name is Jayanth Rasamsetti. I'm the founder of Pixeltests. We are an educational technology company, and the mission is to upskill 1 million data scientists, AI scientists, or blockchain experts, or all the frontier courses like electric vehicle, possibly even AR, VR, so on and so forth, right? And to that endeavor, some of you are already in part of the community. So those of you are part of the community, just type me on the chat box because I've also invited other members. Come on, guys, start typing me's. I don't want you guys to be, yeah, good to see Karan, excellent. Yeah, Bhaskar, thank you guys. All right, so what we're going to be doing now is, so Pixeltests, so we just started about 3-4 months ago. We have about 70-80 members. Prior to that, my background, I went to IIT-Madras, did my undergrad, master's there, and my second master's at Columbia. And I've been teaching forever, previously at Great Learning, Simply Learn, Edureka, all these places. Now, as part of the original mission statement, so when I reached out to my professors at IIT-Madras, they were very kind. And they happily obliged. And we got thinking, okay, what are the other courses that we can do? What are the other cutting edge technologies? And obviously, blockchain is one of them. / cryptocurrency. Everybody knows, how hot it is. But how cool would it be if you knew the fundamentals to make that, right? It's not just about driving the car, right? Like what they say, like the Ferrari. But if you knew how you could make it, etc. So to that end, I want to introduce, the expert. Professor Pandurangan, who was previously with IIT-Madras, I think for over 3.5 decades. He's probably clocked 1 million, hours of lectures and students that he's personally impacted. He's probably one of India's best computer scientists as well. He's now transferred, or I think in that flux with the IISc. And Professor, please chime in if I've not caught some points. And he's, very kindly accepted the request to actually, train or to actually deliver some lectures and really, give back to the community from like an upskilling perspective. My request to all of you is, there are different kinds of people. Some people are starting at the scratch of blockchain. Some people already, you have seen something, you've heard something, no problem. Wherever you are, just come in with an open mind. Come completely with an open mind. There's not going to be a sales pitch at the end or anything. It's just going to be really trying to see, how can we leverage the professor's time here, understand for the course he's going to develop, right? So there's going to be a kickoff of a course from December 5th. And the idea is to give you guys a broad outline of what that course is. Obviously, from 5th onwards, at least the first batch will be live lectures. And really, what is this technology? Where is it going? How can you be a part? How can I be a part of it? And, what are the stakes here? So I think that's the intent, at least I have. So please utilize this time, ask him questions after his, outline and debrief. Any question, there's no dumb questions, stupid questions. There are always excellent technologies coming. Please leverage the time. So how many of you are excited about this? Type BIO, and then the baton goes straight to the professor. Type BIO, guys. I need everybody to say BIO. New, old, you've never seen us, no problem, right? This, who knows, maybe this is the chance to change, your life, your income stream, or, your learning, unlearning, whatever it is, or your spouses or anybody. Right. So without further ado, Professor Pandurangan, again, thank you so much for your time, and also the larger request of trying to help us out and be with us. Thank you. You're on mute, sir. You're on mute. Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, absolutely. I'm delighted, and then it is a pleasure to be here to address all of you. It's a good opportunity. and it's wonderful. It's indeed, it's a great pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. I graduated from Indian Institute of Science, 1982, and then I joined as faculty in IIT-Madras in 1982. That is very clear, 39 years back. And that is when Government of India has decided to start the UG program in computer science in India. So I am associated with the computer science education program in India right from its day -1, I should say. Then it was a pleasure growing with it. And then computer science itself is going through enormous changes. When I joined as a faculty, there was no internet. Okay, absolutely no internet. If you want to write something to someone, you have to physically write on a sheet of paper and then physically post it. There is nothing like email, right? And there are several amusing things. There were only about 10 to 20 books for entire computer science. Now you see a library, but then there were. And when I actually started my career of research, the major computer science book is a language manual. Actually, Fortran 4 manual is considered as a great computer science book. It is not even computer science. It's just telling you how to command the machine. But then you can see from that stage, it has evolved, and now you have a computer touching every aspect of life. So many applications, and then it has become so diverse that it's absolutely safe to say that there is no one on earth who has the complete knowledge of all aspects of computer science. It has become absolutely divergent, right? So everyone will have some narrow niche expertise or something like that. That's because it's pretty vast. It's touching every application, and humans are tool lovers, right? So you can't run fast and cross over rugged terrain, tame the horse, and then move around. Okay, so invent wheels and use fire and so many things. And you keep creating tools, ships, aircrafts, and so on. The range is almost as diverse as the human thought process. Computer is also a tool which is for problem solving. However, the one impressive thing about computers is it's for problem solving. What kind of problem? Any problem that is mathematical. If you can frame the problem as a mathematical problem, whatever the problem that you have, you might be wondering whether there is a tumor here or not in an image that is scanned in a health center, or you may want to navigate a missile, or you may want to go all the way up to the moon. It doesn't matter. Okay, and or you want to optimize or minimize the resource allocation for a transportation problem, or the list is also endless. Whatever is the problem, the moment you could cast that into a math flavored one, you have a computer-based solution available. It's possible to represent the math entities, process the math operations and other things as computer operation. Although computers are capable of just manipulating only the bits, we have made very sophisticated abstractions that allows us to do addition, subtraction, multiplication of numbers. Not only addition, subtraction, and multiplication, very abstract operation on abstract mathematical object. Let me just quiz you. What is the abstract mathematical object with abstract operation that you are quite familiar with? You know math, numbers, integers, adding, subtraction, and other things that you have done already. Okay, and then you have done geometric object, finding the distance, going over here and there, shortest path route in your Google map, and so geometric objects and numbers and figures you have handled. What other abstract mathematical object you have handled with its own very strange kind of rules, operations, and other things, and you have to follow those rules and regulations and then get the answers in that domain? What is that you are familiar with? Have you understood the abstraction around you? The math models around you? That's my question, just to sensitize. Whether is going to be represented. Linear programming is also a very sophisticated representation of optimization problems. You are taking several constraints and then you are mathematically modeling it, and still you are manipulating numbers. Finally, there are real numbers you are adding, subtracting, and it's not numbers. It's a completely different kind of entities with a different meaning and different operation, different rules. See, addition, subtraction, multiplication is also a kind of a symbol and operations on them. Abstract algebra, quite a few of you, but you don't have to go that abstract. There is something concrete that you are using every day, right? Yes, bit manipulation is something which is defined by you, and then bit manipulation is algebra over two numbers, right? Traveling salesman algorithm is basically a solution to a particular problem, right? So you have to navigate and then come back. You go to all over and then come back. What's the cheapest way to visit 20 other places and then come back to your headquarters? Beautifully answered by that. What I am asking is a math world like integers and operations, real numbers and operation, points and operations. On points, you can find the distance, you can draw a circle, you can find the intersection of lines and many things. Like this, a math world with its own operation, you are familiar with, right? To cut the long story short, let me tell you, calendar. What is calendar? What is Sunday and Monday? It's your creation. You associate a meaning. What is a leap year? It's your own making. What is January, February? And so somebody may call it as Thai, Masi, Adi, Avani, and somebody may call it in different ways. Okay, it doesn't matter. But then what is a calendar? It's a system. It has got some symbols. It has some operations. Why do we need that? Just imagine for a minute without any calendar or go back 5,000 years in the human life scale. How would you ever tell that let's meet next week, evening 6 o'clock? This idea is to become, you have something in your mind. You want to meet him next week again at some, right? Now it's very comfortable because of the representation of the time, abstraction, and then model and manipulation, and hours, seconds, 22, 4, then comes to Monday to Tuesday, and then another 24 hours. Wednesday. You have a mathematical system. There is no square root. There is no A by B. There is no Monday by Tuesday. There is 2 by 4 in integers, but there is no Monday by Tuesday here. That is because these are not meant for division or square root and other things. It has got its own set of operations. So you create a math world, represent the real life problem. So this is where computers are scoring. Where computers are scoring is, I have a real world problem. I have a problem. Or I want to convince somebody, day before yesterday, this fellow stole that mango. I saw that day before yesterday. How do you say that without any of these kind of time, reference and notation, representation and manipulation and all those kind of things? See the difficulty you have seen. Somebody stealing. You are a caveman now, 5,000 years back. No English, Tamil, mathematics, nothing. No algebra, no Euclid. You are a caveman. You have seen somebody stealing the mango. Somebody asked, where is that mango? What happened to this tree? There were mangoes last week. I saw the owner, the guy who's controlling. Right? How do you say this one was stolen day before yesterday, afternoon, 3 o'clock? Now you can say that. So what is important is there are many things like this that we want to represent. The moment I have a represent, the moment I have something mathematically represent, I can use computers. I can write computer program which mimics those operations. I represent Monday as 0, Tuesday as 1, or whatever it is. Now I can answer this question. What day is 1/1/3000? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? I can do that. I can write a program to tell you that answer. Right? Is it Monday or Tuesday? 1,3,000. Another 1,000 years after, I can answer that question. That is because you have now systematic math rules, operations, and computations. So computation is just an abstract manipulation of symbols according to certain rules. Once those rules and other things are set, you can. That is why computers and computer programs and computer-based problem solving has become ubiquitous and universal. It is used by engineers, it is used by lawyers for logical reasoning, analysis, and it is used by auditors, it is used by finance, doctors, rocket scientists, engineer, any enterprise, civil engineers, mechanical engineers. You name an application, computers are used. Therefore, computers have become problem-solving tool. Now, what is very important about any tool is its ease of operation. If the tool is very complicated, then it can be manipulated only by some experts who master the way to use it, right? Car is a very, very complicated mechanical engineering gadget, electromechanical, electronic components are also there. Very complicated interaction of so many components and other things. However, even a school dropout can drive a car. Why? The interface. Very simple. Accelerator, clutch, brake, and other things, and few indicator, little bit of maneuver. That is enough. You can handle that. You don't have to know principles of thermodynamics to drive the car. Okay? Don't need any of those things. That is interface. So what is very important is the invention or the model may be very complicated, but it is easy to operate. Now the computers have got all these things. It is solving wide variety of problems. It has got beautiful interface that even a clerk is using it for word processing. They may not know big computer science, or they need not know all kinds of theories and other things. They can use. It's very simple set of operations and rule. You do that, you train them on for 3 days, then become expert in typing all your letters and office assistant and information processing, gathering, collecting, collating, managing, projecting. All done by non-computer science people. They need not be computer science graduates at all. Right? Stenographers can do this. So the important thing is use. This has broadened its application. So the scope for computers have become more and more and more and more. And then something wonderful has happened. They get connected. They are not only individual elements, and then they have come together, networking. Fortunately, but for certain cars are still individual entities. Some communication gadgets, etc., you can embed and you can do it. Ignore that aspect by and large. Right? Cars, there are 1 million cars, but they are all existing individually. They are serving different bosses, and then they are on their own. They don't do anything together. The bosses who are controlling may do something, but then cars by themselves. It's not like that. Now, that is a major revolution. A network set of systems, and they can be coordinated, manipulated, and other things. And without you knowing how to operate a network, you are using it. You are sending an email to a friend in United States. Beautifully, it travels and then it lands there. Okay? The reason why I am saying all these things is, just a minute, in the introduction, okay, Jayanth was saying, right, how can you become a participant? How can you be a part of any revolution, or how can you, right? If it is too complicated and then obviously you can, if I say that if you want to drive a car, you must be a mechanical engineering undergraduate, at least BE mechanic, otherwise you cannot drive a car. If I put that condition, or if that is the situation, then you can imagine how many people are going to use the car, right? So what is very important here is We have developed a certain model, certain way in which the system would be internally developed in some way, but then with that also there is a periphery, there is an interface with which it is interacting with the world. And your first ticket experience should be to explore that interface. Okay, then fine. Let's just get a feel for it. When you become excited, you can just buy a car and then little later you just know about some parts and other things, and then why it is that and why this is getting rusted. Can I use some other kind of a thing? I ask more and more questions. Is this tire is the best brand, and is it longitude? Why that losing the balance, and why this particular noise is coming in my car? Now you become more and more familiar with the details of the system, operational, technical, and other details. Gradually you would go to the extent in which you want to, but then you have to begin somewhere. Right? To get into that, we need to begin somewhere. So like that, there are excitement all over. How will you become a part of it? You need a nice way to interact with it. Okay, the purpose of this course is to do that. There is something which is exciting going on, and can you become a part of it? If you want to become a part of it, how do you get to interact with that? What are all the things that are involved in it? And then how do you do that? The moment these two things are done, you are in. And then there is something exceptional with respect to the topic that we are going to see. In many cases, you can interact, but still you will be an outsider. Okay? Little later, you see a typist who has mastered word processing and office tools and other things. Still, computer will be there and they know how to use it, but they don't go to the internals. They don't become a part of the software development of or the system developer, or they still remain in the periphery and then they use it. Here is one technology in which it is possible for you to be a little more immersive. You can become a part of it. You can play the role of a controller of the system. Why? Most of the systems, they operate in a centralized fashion. There is a system means there must be something who is controlling it. There is either software or a person or something that they're controlling that. And because they control that, any interface must be with respect to the controlling agency or the periphery, which is having a well-defined way to interact with outside world. You are a part of an outside world to the system. Right? So you interact that way. Can you become a part of that? Okay. You take a State Bank of India. You can operate an account. You can open an account. You can withdraw. You can deposit money. You can fix a deposit. You can buy a loan. You can be a user. Just because you are depositing and then opening an account, can you become a part of the management of SBI? Can you become a part of the system? You are only a user. You are still an outsider. Only that bank manager is entitled for certain operations, and only the man in the counter can pull out the drawer, take the money, and then give it to you. It may be your money. Still, you can't go and say, hey, that's my money and let me go and take it. You can't pull the drawer and take the money from there. No way. Because it's a system maintained and managed by someone. You are a user, outsider. Can you become a part of it? Can you also become a controlling person? In a centralized system, that is not possible. Okay. In a decentralized system, that is possible. What is so revolutionary about blockchain technology is it's a decentralized one. There is no single boss. Who are all the bosses? You can be a boss. You can be a part of the system. How many people can mint money, Indian rupee, in this country? The one agency, right? Under the directive of RBI, under the controlled one, only this much I have to print, and only that is to be circulated and then used. Highly controlled. You have no authority to, in fact, if you print money, you will be put into jail. In Bitcoin, if you generate Bitcoin, you are admired, you are appreciated. People are very happy. You can do, I can do, anyone can do. Anyone can bring in money. Anyone can trade. Anyone can trade in any manner they like. Absolutely decently. You become instant. Is there any authority need? Do you need an approval of anybody to become a part of the system? No. You can join anytime. You can leave anytime. You can become a part of it. Highly decentralized, autonomous. What a major development. Typically, we mean by a system something which is well organized, controlled, unified, and with a well-defined structure. Otherwise, how will you run it? There will be a chaos. There will be a total chaos. Right? Whereas here it is not like that. So, from individual isolated system, it has become a tool to solve problems. Then it has become a tool to solve any mathematical problem. Therefore, it started spreading much wider and then reached all over wherever there is a problem. Whether it is a problem for your assistant to type a mail or a letter or generate a record and then store, or whether it is to guide a missile, computers can be used to show the broadest range of application. Aircraft only for flying, ship only for sea transportation. Every tool has got certain well-defined, very limited purpose of its existence, operation, and service. Computers have become completely. And then they have come together. And not only they have come together, and that has become a network, and then it has created a phenomenal world. It has created monster, not only that. And now you have something really remarkable. Okay? Decentralized one. That is the latest revolution. There are several latest revolutions. Okay? This is one of them. I'm not going to talk about other thing. I'm going to indulge only in this one. Artificial intelligence. The human intelligent and thought process can that be simulated, modeled, and then made the computers work. Then whatever you are doing with your intelligence, can I deploy a bunch of computers and get the job done? Can it learn on its own? What are the ways in which you are learning? Can that be modeled mathematically and then get that math job done by computer, so that computer also begins to think like you? Another hot area. And like this, currently the trend is completely exploding way beyond simply using computer as a dabba or as a tool on your desk to solve one particular problem for which there is a software and there is a small program which you run, or you develop a code which the application works and so on. It has broken those barriers and boundaries. That is the reason why it is doing something totally unexpected. It is doing many things which are beyond the grasp of ordinary person. Earlier there was a control, so one can understand what was going on. Now it is mind-boggling. That is the reason why with these technologies, we require a nice way of familiarizing ourselves, interacting with it, and so on. Right? The purpose of this course is to demystify one of the most exciting things. And this is one of the great enablers. It does something way beyond what it's not developing a particular skill. If you take a training on, let's say, database, Oracle, a tool, then you can apply that. You are taking a course on Maya, graphics, image processing. Okay, I can join an animation company and then use the tool to Toy Story 3 and movies, graphics, and various applications. So like that, there are various specialized tools. I can become a master of tally, and then I can do accounts and other things. You have very specific tools. You can familiarize with the tools and you can use it. As a next level, you can go and participate in the development and enhancement of those tools, and then still they are all individual tool based. Here is something That is very different. Okay. Therefore, what we are trying to do is try to understand a very new system which is operating in a completely different way. We are not used to this paradigm before. You're used to bank, but then the banks are completely controlled, monitored, managed by a management, and there is a team and they are responsible for it. What if they are corrupt? What if they have made some wrong policy decision? They have your money, but then they have misused, abused, or confused, or something has happened. You lost your money. Then what happened? Who is accountable? Where is that? It's all lost, gone. Okay. Simply vanished. Then what happens? Do you understand why that has happened? You don't understand many of those things. Massive things are happening. Suddenly stocks are tumbling down and millions and millions and billions and trillions of dollars are lost, wiped out. Okay. So suddenly you gain, suddenly you lose, and then what's all these things? You have no control. There is something that is happening somewhere. You have become a part of it, but then you have no control on any of those things. And when those things fail, you are affected. Although you are a stakeholder, you are a very mild, mute spectator. You just give your money and then wait for the administration to behave properly. Is there a way in which, right, I maintain my own money, I manage my own thing and everything on my own completely. Right? I'm responsible for everything. Like this, can some individuals in the world create and operate an economy? I don't want to have the bank. I don't want to have that centralized monetary system. Is it possible for me to have a decentralized one in which I am the boss? I'm also a boss, right? You just can't go to State Bank of India and say that because I have deposited, I am also one of the bosses of SBI. You can't say that. You have no authority to do all those things. You can't tweak anything over there. Whereas here is a world where we are going to do that, right? Okay, so there is an evolutionary process, but in all the way in the evolutionary process, you were a user or a spectator from outside, whereas here is a great opportunity in which there is something exciting in which you can become a part, not just as a user, but as a part of the system. Everything about the system, you can become a part of that. And when you don't want, you can arbitrarily leave. You can arbitrarily join. Can I have a system in which people can arbitrarily join, control, work with, and arbitrarily leave? Does it make sense? You feel very uncomfortable with that, right? I mean, what kind of system is that? If I don't have anything, is there any accountability? Is there anything that can be done with these kind of arbitrary walking in and walking out and stuffs like that without any coordination, right? So a new paradigm. Participation. Okay, it's very important that you can become a part of it. How to become a part of it? What is the nature of the system? All these things we are going to do. Now let me come to very specific about this course. This course is about cryptocurrency and an enabler of that, a technology that enables the cryptocurrency, blockchain technology. Two things we are familiar with the fiat currency, our Indian rupee, American dollar, physical currency, coin, note, bank. You are familiar with this system. You are a user of that system, right? There are problems with these systems. Always there will be problems we need to solve. Earlier we had barter system. What was the problem with barter system? There is no standard. What do you mean by one goat equal to 2 bags of rice? Which size of the bag? Which kind of a goat? Is all goats similar? No. all rice similar? No, some rices are good, some are bad. And so where is the standardization? When I'm reducing everything to rupee, it becomes very clear. There may be some goat which can be 1 lakh rupee, and there may be some rice which is only 10 rupees a kilo. Doesn't matter. But now I talk everything in terms of 1 rupee, the coin, currency that I have introduced. It's a new abstract idea, the value represented. Now the barter system has been now spoken in a common language. Still I do that, I trade. Somebody is selling his goat for his money, then he goes to a supermarket, buys his rice for his food, and all those things are happening. But the point is, earlier, the completely confusing non-standard and then other thing has been made. But then, how the system gets into acceptance? What's more important? Trust. Why? You say there is one sheet of paper in which 10 is written, right? You give 100 such a sheet of paper, I have to give my goat. You give 3 such a sheet of paper, somebody should give you a kilogram of rice. Why? Because with the same 3 sheet of paper, he can go to a restaurant and he can eat masala dosa. He can give that one. The entire society has accepted to use. So that sheet of paper or coin, whatever it is, has become. Earlier, what is that? If I want to eat masala dosa, I have to physically carry my goat, okay, and give it to the hotel fellow. And if the hotel fellow doesn't want goat, then what do you do? Many, many things, right? These non-standard practices, that is how our earlier system was like that. Barter system was. But later on, we have introduced the notion of currency or money and other things. And then we have a system, and then the system had got widespread acceptance, trust. Because of the trust, the whole society is operating. Now 1 billion people, 1 billion plus people, they know what the 10 rupee sheet of paper means. They understand that. They use it for, okay, no questions asked. Nobody is debating on that. You give 10 rupees to a shop and then whatever the merchandise worth that, you get it. Very simple, right? Trust. So this money is maintained and managed by a system. You know, to err is human. To deliberately err is also human. The system and the controller, and if they misuse, abuse, and other things of the control they have, what can happen? The entire monetary system goes for a toss, and then trust is lost, chaos, and then the whole thing. That is because the whole system, the whole country has come to depend on it. Inflation, right? Unmanageable inflation. Right? $2 million for shaving. Horrible, right? There are countries which are suffering from very poor monetary money management and other things. The inflation hits, and then you have to carry a sack full of currency to get yourself shaved. Unreasonable, happening. So there are systems, there are good systems, and there are systems that have failed. The monetary system has gone for a major toss in 2008. That is when there was a major calamity. Okay, that is because the monetary system has become very complex, and the administrators have done what is known as bundling. They put several things together, one loss giving item, one profit giving item together. So overall, it will be a plus. So the bundling is something that is typically done to offset the losses. Okay, because you are the same boss and then you are holding everything, so you do. But the bundling is done on certain assumptions. And if those assumptions fail, the bundling mechanism can cause much more damage than individually they are causing. Right? The insurance, the housing, loan, there are a lot of portfolios that are dealt by the banking system. And they are all bundled in an awkward manner. And then what happened was one major failure in their assumption in the real estate market has cascaded effect on all the entire monetary system. And then the whole thing started collapsing. The government, the US government, was trying to pump in billions and billions of dollars. At one instance, it pumped in $700 billion. At another instance, it was about to pump in a lot more because it has to save from the crisis. Right? There was a phenomenal crisis that has happened in the total mess in a banking system. And that made the whole lot of people to think, why should I have this why should I have this centralized banking system wherein I have no control, I have nothing, I become a mute spectator, I put all my money, and then if those guys are corrupt, I lose. And then they lost the trust in the system. Is it possible that a group of guys can autonomously, independently, individually operate, build a trust, and then distribute that trust? It is not with one centralized authority. I don't have to trust only that guy. And if that guy is corrupt, that's all. Crores and crores can be swindled. We have such system. We have seen items are hitting the newspapers, right? For you to get a loan of 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs, so much of documentation, verification, and other things are to be done. But then there are individuals who have got unbelievable amount of money as loan and they have also vanished. How do you trust the system? And what is the impact of those kind of things? So what is happening is, the more certain things are centralized, and if the trust is lost, the whole system collapses. Can I distribute the trust? Can everybody, or can I have trust as a corollary? If you are not behaving trustworthy manner, you will either be caught and then immediately eliminated, and you will not become a part of the trust. And as long as you play by the rule of the game set by everyone, then everyone will be trusted. Is it possible that I can have that kind of a system set up? If so, and if there is one such system that can be set up for monetary purposes, then that will eliminate completely the bank, and then misdeeds, and then wrong moves and other things, risks taken by banks under certain assumptions, and then everything is done. You want more profit means more risk has to be taken, and you may gain or you may collapse, and then it's a part of the game. The whole point is that I lose my money without any of the control that I have. So the question is, can this fiat currency, which is maintained, managed, controlled by a central banking system, be replaced? Can I generate a value system? Can I design a value system in which value is generated and maintained and managed by every stakeholder? State Bank of India has got perhaps few crores, let's say 5 crore accounts, but it is managed by a very small team of members. What if I have a banking system in which all the 5 crore stakeholders are in charges? All of them are peer-to-peer. There is no boss, there is no slave. All of us are bosses, all of us are having equal responsibility. We have equal power. We maintain and manage our own system. Is it possible to have? There's no master-slave in the network. It's a peer-to-peer. Can I have a set of people coming together? A set of people coming together is networking. A set of people, and I don't have to know you, you don't have to know me. We have come together like that. Let's say you have an account and I also have an account in State Bank. I may not know you, you may not know me, but we are all stakeholders. If State Bank is closed or lost or something like that, both you and me have to face the pain, right? So the question is, I may not know you, but let's all operate. I don't have to see you, you don't have to see me. Let's operate according to certain rules without any violation. Let's all trust ourselves, and then we will set up a system. You want to become a part of it? Welcome. You want to become a part of it at 7. You have decided to become part of the system at 7. You will become a part of the system at 7:10. 10 minutes. All that is needed, you become a part of. You want to quit at 7:25? Yes, you may leave at 7:26. Here is a system. You can come in, you can go. You don't need any permission to walk into the system and become a part. You don't need permission to leave, nothing. All that is needed is a set of rules that as long as you are a player of the system, you have to go by this rule. Then only the trust can be maintained. Then only the system can work properly. So there are certain set of rules. All of us should agree. Once that is done, anyone who is willing to go by that rule can become a part and then become amazing. This is enabled by computer technology. This has been enabled by internet technology and networking. So peer-to-peer network, decentralized system, and the computers that you have, the current technology that you have is allowing all these things to become a reality. Okay? And then you always need safeguard mechanism, right? You always need, because even the currency that is produced by RBI, they produce so carefully so that it is not all that easy for somebody to duplicate and then cheat. And then you have penalties. If anybody catches somebody minting money outside those legal ones, arrested and put into jail and so on. Deterrence and safeguarding mechanism, security features. And obviously, there will be people who will attempt to cheat and then misuse and abuse the system. Then we need a mechanism to control. Okay. What happens if you have only 1,000 rupees, but you issue a check for 2,000 rupees? Right? The check goes and then it bounces. No money. Right? There is somebody who verifies and other things, and then some sanity and some logic is maintained. So this group also should do all of them. Then only the system and its working will be trusted. So you need security mechanism. Do we have those kind of things? Yes. Parallelly, from various other contexts, cryptography as a tool has evolved and it has also matured and available for us. So many things have happened. A crisis which requires a different answer. A technology that is available in which we can implement all these things. A network on which all these things can be done in a decentralized fashion. And you have mathematical techniques like game theory and cryptography. They have also been matured. All that is needed is we need to put them together and then evolve a system. When that happens, a new paradigm is created. That is what has happened. A new paradigm has been created. It's a new idea. It's a new excitement in the air. Obviously, anything that has come new, no one can imagine, visualize all difficulties and everything bad about the system. You experience it, you run it, and then you get into. So you have a technology that is put in place. It was answering several questions, but then when you actually deploy, it has created more questions, more challenges, more unexpected things. So you naturally have the system to evolve, right? Dinosaurs will die and more compact horses and other things will come into existence. They will survive, right? So the thing is that it has to evolve. Correcting mechanism has to be incorporated. So blockchain technology version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. What does that all that mean? It means it is a live system. It is active. It is fantastically pursued by a big community and it is growing. It's becoming more and more robust. Various faults and errors and the pitfalls are removed and additional exciting features are added and it is growing. Would you like to become a part of this? When I ask you, would you like to become a part? Would you like to physically become a part of this is my question. Right? Then this course is for you. Right? You can instantly become a part of the Bitcoin network. It is absolutely possible. Okay. And you have an equal chance of bringing new Bitcoin to the earth like anybody else. It's a bit ideal statement, but in the system does not distinguish. Anyone can mint the coin. Anyone can mint a coin and bring into the system, provided you do certain things. A person who is capable of doing that can bring in the money. You own it. Because you have done it, you own it. You created it. You are the owner of that. You can use it. You can give it to others. You can trade it. Everything you can do. You are the owner, 100% owner of that. It's a ownership. The paradigm has changed. It's not the person who possesses. It's a person who owns. Look at the shift, right? Therefore, as long as the ownership cannot be altered and cannot be made into a fraudulent claims, right? It's conceptually stronger than physically possessing. You drop 100 rupee in the road. Somebody has picked up. Now he is the owner. Okay. You can't claim that half an hour back I dropped it here and other things. Oh, no way. Right? So the whole thing is the ownership of money. That itself has got a completely different meaning into these kind of new paradigms. So we are going to take a closer look at a completely new paradigm. A system setup, an ecosystem in which the whole thing operates. We have to familiarize ourselves with that. So the cryptocurrency, the reason why it is called the cryptocurrency as opposed to our ordinary currency is it has been the security features of this currency, because it's an electronic currency, it is only conceptual, right? It's not physical. Because of that, the security and other things related to that is also provided by mathematical methods. Cryptography provides the appropriate security cover for this. Ownership guarantees and immutabilities and other things are guaranteed by cryptographic tools. That is why we call this as cryptocurrency. Right. Electronic currency is still the same currency represented in electronic form. When you do the electronic transfer of money, still I am transferring Indian rupee. I use a NIFT or something like that to transfer, let's say 10,000 from my account to your account. It's electronic transfer. It's a transfer. Still I am dealing with Indian rupee, which is not created by me, right? It's not created by my community. That rupee can have different rules, regulation, controlling mechanism, and various things it can have. Right? So the money, which we say cryptocurrency is not simply electronic cash. It is a kind of a new paradigm in currency whose security aspects and other things are provided. All right, I have crypto, but how do I deploy? How do I enable trust? How do I make it available to the larger community here? It's not your personal pleasure or habit collection. It's not that my personal stamp collection. It's not my personal art collection. I'm something I have to use it for in the society. I want to use it for trade. I must have value for it, and various things are needed. How do I do that? Because I'm not satisfied with the existing monetary system, the control, the way in which it fails, the way in which it is losing trust. So I want to have an alternative paradigm for. So whatever the currency is doing, I should be able to do that. How do I deploy that? That is where the cryptocurrency ecosystem, right? The network, the paradigm, the mechanisms, the software tools that are used, all of them constitute the ecosystem in which this. So the key component in that is blockchain. Blockchain is a data structure. It is where you maintain records. It is where you maintain all currency transaction. Cryptocurrency, you use currency for transactions. Just it is a ledger containing the transaction. That is all. However, it has got very special properties and a specialized way in which it has to be generated, maintained, managed by the community. And it is that which defines the ecosystem, right? Therefore, we have to familiarize ourselves with ecosystem. We have to familiarize ourselves with the mechanism of working. How do you do the transaction? You know the transaction, how you do the transactions, right? Google Pay and various checks that you write, and then various ways in which money is transferred from one source to another. Okay? Transactions happen. A sends money to B. Variety of ways they are all done. How do you do this here? We have to first know that. That's a basic activity when you mean by currency. So what we are going to do is, in our course, we begin with a brief overview of ecosystem, crypto, currency basics, the ecosystem.
Sir, this is Jay here. Can you just, there's some red marks on that whiteboard. Can you erase that? Or maybe
How did that come into?
No, I think some participant had done it. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay. Crypto's currency basic ecosystem for the cryptocurrency that we are going to do, Bitcoin. And then in this, the enabler, the core of this, in this ecosystem, there are various things. Okay. The blockchain technology that is enabling this. This is what we are going to see. All right. So what we are going to do is that we are going to illustrate each of these concepts, the way in which these things look like, what these things are, and other things. What is absolutely exciting, what is completely different from other course learning to the learning of this course is whatever the way in which the system is operating, you can have the similar experience right at your home. It is absolutely possible. You can see everything because the whole thing is happening in open, completely transparent. The whole thing you can, there are software tools and mechanisms in which you can monitor, you can watch. You can see how the system works. You can't see how SBA works. Very mysterious. Right? Who calculates what happens and why that one, and then who gives that money, how it is decided. You have absolutely no idea about any of those things. Here it is not like that. Everything that is happening in the ecosystem, you can see. Right? You have tools for that. So during our course, we are going to work on those tools, and those tools are all public domain tools. You don't have to pay anything for it. Right? You can watch the Bitcoin ecosystem. You can see what it is doing. You can see what it is doing now. You can see what it has done yesterday. You can see what it has done on 17/11/2018. On that day, what happened? You can see what all happened on that. You can see that entire system all over the world. What has happened? You do not even know what is happening in the SBA branch near to your office. Forget the entire SBA in India. You have no access to any of the records or ledgers. Or you can see your account passbook. That's all. Here it is not like that. The entire ecosystem is so transparent. That's a two-edged sword. It gives absolute confidence on the way in which it works. Because if there is anything that is fraud, it is so transparent that it will be obvious. Right? No pickpocket would like to take the money. Right? When you are in the middle of a very busy thing where a lot of people can see you and catch you. That doesn't happen. Right? So mugging and other things take place in a slightly isolated, no, middle. So the whole point is anyone can verify, anyone can check, anyone can find out, hey, that's wrong. Right? The entire ecosystem is observable by any stakeholder. That is what the power is, that you become a part of the system and you can see the entire system that is operational. How do we do that? We are going to interact live with the tools that are available. Okay? So, after some discussions and other things, when I give an assignment or a problem or something like that for you to solve for marks, all you have to do is that you have to physically watch what's happening and then answer the questions. That's all. See, observe, and then record your observation. That's your question answer. It is not like our typical exam that we will have, there is a set of concept and then you have to mug some definitions and you have to reproduce in an exam hall or something like that. Here it is completely different. At the end of every session, we are going to have a small quiz. You just log in from your system at your home, watch internet, watch the Bitcoin ecosystem, observe the things that are happening there and answer that. That's it. The purpose is to make you familiar, with the operating of the system, to become a conversant user of the system. Tomorrow, if you would like to get into that and then want to actually, you will be completely armed with all the necessary experience and information, etc., related to this. We are going to prepare you for that. Okay? Ask me questions that you may have. The syllabus, the curriculum, all those things I will discuss on the first day of the lecture, because right now, even if I say some technical terms related to the course, some of you may or may not understand what those things are. So giving a list of topics that are going to be covered may not make sense in a broad, to a selected audience who have decided to take the course. I can discuss. But what I can tell now is the following. The cryptocurrency ecosystem is going to be described. We are going to become a part of it, and it's an immersive experience. We will completely interact with it because that allows us to interact. It's very simple. It gives 100% open access to all its resources. So you can watch what's happening, which we are going to do to understand the system. When the system says, hey, you can knock any door and that will be opened, and you ask any question, that will be answered when it says, understanding that system becomes a lot easier. And that's what this course is going to do. I will introduce a concept, then immediately we will go to the Bitcoin network, see how that concept and other things are being operated there. We will know about it. Okay. Therefore, you don't need any special laboratory. You don't need any special computers. And you need a desktop. That's all, or a laptop, or an iPad or something. That's all you need. We don't need anything other than that. From our respective home, we can sit and then learn. We can understand about the system. Therefore, introduction to the ecosystem of Bitcoin network, details of Bitcoin currency, the concept of transactions, and the concept of transaction putting together to form a block put together to form a blockchain, maintenance and management of blockchain. These are all the things that we are going to discuss, right? Therefore, all the operational details with the internal structure of everything that we are going to describe in the class physically shown on the live network will be done. It is possible. We are very lucky. We have one such system about which we are going to learn, right? Completely transparent. Okay. In fact, there are tools and systems in which you can even physically take the experience of transaction, yourself doing the transaction. Okay. There are faucets that will give artificial money, and you can grab that is given to you just for you to play around, to know about the tool and to have more. And then you can return that money back to the faucet. Okay. With that, you can't do real world transaction. From the faucet, whatever you got can be used only for this academic purpose or training purposes, because that's not a real money. But it will look 100% like real money. There are differences, but they are at the implementation level. For you, operating with this will have identically same experience as you would be doing with the real Bitcoin. So you can have that kind of an experience. You have test nets, a network for various crypto systems. You have test nets. They mimic the real world ecosystem and the network. You have a Bitcoin network. You have a test net. You can become a part of that, and then you can have the identically same experience as you would have on. So you can experience yourself here. It's like a drama rehearsal in your home, in a hall. 5 of you talk, and then it's a rehearsal. It's just like a stage and other things. But then there's a real stage. But then once you are rehearsed, over there it's a repetition of that with a little enhancements and touch-ups here and there. But basically, it's possible for you to rehearse. You have those kind of things thanks to the openness and the way in which the paradigm is designed, the way in which the whole idea is built and developed. So we can make very interesting learning of this. Interactive learning, immersive learning is possible for these topics. So mathematical foundations, you need some math. That is because the security is provided through mathematical tools. Right. When I say a physical signature on a sheet, there is a curve that you draw called your signature, and there is a witness. So whether it is a forgery or not is done by a complicated verification process. What if somebody simply comes and tells you that, hey, you owe me 5 crores. Hey, I don't even know you. No, here is a sheet of paper in which you signed and gave it to me. Look, your signature is there. I owe you 5 crores. I borrowed 5 crores on this day, and I will return by end of this month. Look, you can give me my money. If somebody suddenly comes to your doorstep, and what will you do? That is not even my signature, and this is not where is the witness, and so that. But what if you have actually borrowed 5 crore from me, and when the day comes back, no, I don't even know you. When did I buy the money, borrow the money from you? What do you mean by you gave me 5 crore? What if you deny? It's both ways, right? A genuine person should not, a guy who actually borrowed the money should not deny, and a guy who never even paid should not be, implicated, saying that, yes, you already owe the money. Though we need signatures, documents. So secure, but everything is done in this ecosystem electronically. Therefore, these protection mechanisms are given mathematically. That is the reason why you need a bit of math related to cryptography. We will take a closer look at it. What are all the math needed? What do they do? And I'm going to touch upon the functional aspect. I'm not going to give the technical proofs. That's not needed. What we want is what it does, how it does, right? We don't have to go to the mathematical reasoning behind each one of them. That is not needed, right? Much like driving of the car. You don't need all the lever pulleys and other mechanisms that all day you want to stop, press this pedal, it will stop. You want to increase the speed, press this pedal, it will go faster. That's all you have to teach. Same way, we are going to understand cryptography from that perspective. There is math involved. There's no easy way. There is math involved. Fortunately, you have to only have a cursory mathematical understanding of it. You don't have to do it. There is a software that will also do this one also for you. Wallets. So we are going to see one very important component of the ecosystem wallet, which is making the life very comfortable for the users of this community, right? Therefore, we're going to see the required technical background, mathematical background about cryptography and some functional aspect. We are going to look at the description of the ecosystem. Then we are going to see how the operational details, how exactly it works. All of them we are going to see in a 30-hour interaction. Now I will take the questions. Here is one question. Can you please share the current use cases of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology and its outlook on job market in India? Okay. As far as use cases are concerned with, a lot of possibilities are indicated and a lot of initiatives are going on, and it is a work in progress. There are almost every state government and central government has initiated the work on land documentation and other things. They were trying to see what are the other problems in their sector that can be. So they have set up special cell for blockchain technology related research, development, and other things. So the IT division will have a blockchain subdivision that will examine it. Various private sectors are also looking into, there is no one blockchain solution, technology-based solution. There is no one cryptocurrency. And there is no one single model. There are several models available, permissioned and permissionless. Okay. And in each one of them, there are variations. Which variation would suit you? That's also not clear. The reason is that technology itself has come into existence only 10 years back. And first 5 years, it was pretty dormant, and then it was known to a small. The real boom came only 5 or 6 years back. So there is a large scale attempts and awareness is built and a lot of things are going on, but they are all at various stages. Okay. Because of this, it's all, a lot of things are done. In fact, medical, in various situations, applications, they see the potential, but to build, for example, if you look at the application in healthcare, healthcare has got its own IT setup and other things that was going on. And now suddenly when blockchain technology, they find to be more in principle is beneficial, cost-effective, attractive, and migration is to take place. Therefore, it's in that process. And there are confusion because there are confidentiality, there are various other challenges that you have to do in addition to things that are normally not considered when you are simply viewed initially as a currency and transaction. So whenever you expand this activity to a real world use case application, additional challenges related to that applications emerge, and those things are to be sorted out. A lot of work is going on, but everything is work under progress. Certain models are completed to some satisfactory extent within certain labs and certain groups. But still, you will not see here is a large scale finished product with this following thing, right? You will see a lot of ads, you will see a lot of proposals, and you will see plenty of things that are happening. But they are all happening, but they are all probably version 0.5, 0.7, 0.79 like, but it's happening. There is large scale activities that are happening. But to answer your question, that is there a concrete use case on which I have this being, there's no large scale such success. In some small isolated places, something which is completed is put into work, and they are also still observing what is to be done and so on with this, right? So lot of small scale deployment and successful deployments are available. Since there are plenty of models, there is no single one that is applicable to all kinds of applications. So different applications are trying different ones. Okay. And that is the reason why it is still a work in progress. But there is a lot of active work in progress. Therefore, as far as employment opportunities are concerned with, there is a broad scope available. It will not be in a very well-defined form, but then it's all happening. Especially, there are a lot of entrepreneurs who are trying this out. Therefore, if you could join the right kind of a clique, then you will be in the right environment to learn more, work more, and contribute more. So this is providing a very rich scope for entrepreneurs. Because they are, of course, there are huge companies and their IT division, they are setting up some money to make sure that certain work is done relevant to their applications and requirement. That's also happening in various companies. And there are also people who develop their own exclusive tools, Amazon, Microsoft. They're all trying to build their own standards and tools, etc., for the deployment so that they can commercially deploy it, or they can provide the value addition and so on. Hyperledger, for example, is a tool completely built by IBM. Right? It's a permissioned chain, blockchain one. It's not permissionless, but it has created a model for deployment of blockchain technology, and it is supporting it, provides all the technical know-how, support, etc. So you can, consult IBM and then deploy that tool for your organization and so on. For example, the Tamil Nadu government recently is going in a big way to collaborate with IBM and then see how Hyperledger can be used for their use is being explored. So like this, the use cases are there, but they are all localized, highly customized, experimental, and internal, and happening in various flavors in various places. Okay. The second question is, does blockchain use AI, ML, DL tech? Blockchain is simply a ledger. It's an information holder. AI, ML are additional tools that can be using the data which is available here. Blockchain by itself is simply a record holder. Right? Therefore, the right question is it possible that I use AI techniques? See, right now, I am now processing the data. The data is stored. And I process the data. I can use AI techniques and other things. I can do ML. I can make the data analysis and other things. Right. Now, blockchain is one such source for data. That's all. It just holds the history of everything that has happened so far. Okay. Therefore, this by itself is not going to do anything, but Can you use this for something else? Yes. People are now trying to integrate AI tools, enhance it with, but they are bringing these things as add-on factor in the environment, in the ecosystem, right? They do not constitute the core, but they are providing valuable extensions for this. It's still under exploration. It's still under exploration. Are you going to learn how to develop smart contracts? No. Smart contracts are part of Ethereum and I would say blockchain 2.0 and 3.0 type of. It's a thing that is smart contracts are very general program or application code with respect to the information that is residing or using that. There is a bit of computation done, very limited amount of computation that is done, very elementary basic computation related to security and maintenance and updating of the transactions, etc., are done at level 1. For that, you need programming. They are not called a smart contract because they are the fixed task that is designated to be done within the basic component. They're called the script program, and script language is there. You have to know that language and you have to give the command in that language to get those jobs done, which you will do. Therefore, script coding at an elementary level, we will learn. The generalization of that for various applications is smart contract. That requires more elaboration in the ecosystem and more facilities and components, software components needed in that. When that is available, we can see how the smart contract can be fitted in. At this moment, for the Bitcoin or for the first level, we are not going to look at smart contracts. We are going to look at the basic programming needed for maintenance and management of transaction blocks, wallets, and stuffs like that. Okay. Therefore, smart contract doesn't come into this. Are we going to learn how to create no DApps and other things? We are going to just use. We are going to use a system. What are all the prerequisites for the course? A bit of mathematical background is needed. Bit of number theory is helpful, but don't worry. I prefer to build the ground up so that without any fear, you can. But as and when I discuss something, if you do the corresponding hands-on, then that will give you the clarity and understanding of what is going on. You do require some math. It's like this. The kind of math that is needed is really advanced, but for the kind of use that you are making, you don't have to know those advanced part of the mathematics. But if you are trying to do within the same thing, little more deeper things, then unless you know those math, you can't do those things. That's because you have to use them cleverly to get the job done. For the first level thing, they are not needed. Okay, so I would say the mathematics, very elementary mathematics that is needed for hash functions and digital signatures and little bit of cryptography is all that is needed. But that I will give completely clear manner without any mincing of the words. You will be able to 100% understand the concept, and whatever the math that is needed will be built in the course itself. When I discuss those math, I will give some references which will take you to the more math that is needed, more cryptography that is needed. You will understand those comments only when you understand the basics. Therefore, I will defer the answer to this question of what kind of mathematics is needed at the actual time of coverage. right? Because dropping those technical terms now will not make much sense. But I will give the self-contained coverage of this, and anything that is needed more, I will give pointers. So those who are interested into pursuing and exploring a little more can go in that direction. And those who want to simply continue to use without any problem, they will continue to use with the kind of math that we have discussed in our course. Right? I will make it self-contained. 100% I will make it self-contained. What is the course fee and other things? These logistics, please take over. If you want to answer that question now.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Panrangan. So I'm still working out with IIT-M because IIT-Madras is also involved in this. So we're in the final stages. So what is decided is the course curriculum, the course timelines, right? What is not yet decided, I just need a little more time to finalize about the course fees. So now I don't want to prematurely announce anything. I'll definitely tell you when that fee structure is ready. Like I said, the certification is going to be jointly done and the prerequisites, etc. Before that, 1-2 days before that, I'll ask you to get the money as well. So this is just, like I said, just, what Professor Pandurangan, how he wants to set up the prerequisites, what is the entry, what are the outcomes, etc. So, sir, Professor, can I share with them just the outline of what we discussed about, the December 5th classes?
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, those of you are interested, wherever you are on your mobile phone or whatever, I'm going to be sharing the timeline, topic-wise timeline, day-wise, and everything. You have permission to take the snapshot right now. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. They can.
So that you can mark your calendar. This is for people who are serious about the course and all that. So give me a second. I'm just getting it up. The topics, what professor is going to cover, etc. Give me a second. So this is so that they can also block their calendars, or if December they're traveling and all that. So. Yeah, guys, so you can take a snapshot of this. So we've also designed like the MCQ and all that. I mean, how many points and all. So curriculum is set, classes, times and all are set pretty much. December 5th is going to be the kickoff. The first lecture, obviously, everything Professor Pandurangan is going to be taking. These are going to be live for you guys. I mean, at least whoever is enrolling from now till that date. I'll give you the enrollment sheet and all that later, those details. So take a snapshot. So if you finish snapshot, type me in the chat box so I can go a little below. Guys, if you're on a mobile phone or whatever it is, just type, yeah. So, and yeah, so module 1, I'll just read it out aloud. Yeah, so module 1 is going to be traditional currency and centralized banking systems, crisis of 2008, decentralization, peer-to-peer network, distributed ledger, transactions, blocks, blockchain, concession rules. So there are going to be 2 sessions, Sunday and that Friday, 7 to 9 p.m., 5th and 10th December. Module 2 is going to be 6 hours, public key crypto system, has functions, digital signatures. Module 3, so dates are correspondingly written. Module 3 is Bitcoin ecosystem, transactions, elliptic cryptography, keys, wallets, Bitcoin nodes, transactions in more detail, blocks, blockchains, concession rules, proof of work, practice on testnet sheet. I know the professor had requested not to talk all of these, but I'm just telling you so that you guys can at least use the dates to block off your calendar should you be here. Yeah. So this last piece, the end sem exam, see, because there's going to be a real set, like a legitimate certification by IIT-Madras, so the rigor is going to be a little high. So like I just want to reinforce this is that, see, this is excellent for those of you, you want like a hands-on experience on blockchain, etc. You're curious about Web 2.0, Web 3.0 and all that. This is just a good foundation, okay? This is a great place again to meet co-founders, at least go to some investors with some proper idea, or even if you're trying to upskill for a job or whatever. This is not a course for if you're struggling for a job and you want a guaranteed job outlet. No, we already have AI, ML, all those courses that is there, okay? This is not a course for like a quick 90-day, I want to double my salary. No, this is not for that. If you want to take over the world, there's a future coming in, you want to be part of it and you don't want to be in a table conversation, you want to be smart by really doing it. This is that. And this is definitely one of the best institutes I could provide. The rest of the pieces, like I said, is in black, meaning the course structure and all that. Sorry, the fee structure and all that. So I'll just give that to you maybe in a week or 2 weeks as the demo is all done, right? Okay, sir, you want to take it back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is just that we have come up with a sequence of topics and how it could be covered. It's a plan which allows us to structure our thing and plan for coverage. And you might have noticed that at the end of every class we have a quiz. So you must now know that it's not memorizing and reproducing something over here. Just you listen and then understand few things and then answer those questions. So then and there we will. And then we will have one exam because this IIT is, they have their own expectations. They will require certain things in certain way. That is because they are involved. So we will have one final examination, but we will see how it can be structured in a way that would allow you to display your understanding in a more strong way. It's never going to be like a serious university examination. There will be a grading marks and other things will be there, but then it should kind of reflect on the understanding that you have developed and the effort that you have put in towards the course rather than other factors. So don't worry about the exam, but focus on real learning. It's very important that you learn a lot, you know a lot. This is something new, and it could quite be an influential move. Maybe your life might change its direction with this kind of interaction. With initiation from this course, and it could be a turning point of career for someone, and then anything can happen. And always there is nothing wrong in knowing something which is happening all around. There is so much of excitement around, and then what's actually happening here? In the curious mind. So from the curious mind to the serious professional knowledge seeker, we are going to give a comprehensive introduction, a curtain raiser topic of this. It will be interactive. It will be like this. I'm going to write physically on the board the contents and then discuss with you. Please feel free to interact with me. You learn by interacting. Okay, that's the reason why I didn't want to make it a slide-based one where I flash slide after slide after slide after slide for an hour and a half. And then by the time the 10th slide is put, whatever you have seen in the slide one is completely forgotten, right? So we should not have an overwhelming flow of information. There won't be any bells and whistles. There will be only direct communication. We write and then talk. There is a match between delivery rate and grasp rate when human writing is involved. You can write only at certain speed, but then visually you can grasp. So my important thing is, and we have excellent reference books available, fortunately, in Indian print. Beautiful books are available. You can buy them, you can own them, and refer for these courses. We will outline about that when we actually discuss the course contents.
Okay, just quick housekeeping items. Guys, what I would request is everybody to fill that form if you're interested right now. It's just a basic form. It has your name, phone number, LinkedIn, nothing else at this time. because we really want to be selective and pre-screen also the members who are coming in. I'm getting in members from the others as well. We already have some signups. So fill that form right now because we only have probably 8, 10, a few more minutes before we close this. So what I would request is sir, can we take 2 more questions and then we'll close it because
why not? Please, no problem.
So whoever has a question, Saurav, I know you are there. You joined. Thank you for joining. Maybe he left. Whoever has a question can unmute themselves and just ask. Right now is a great option. Jim, do you have a question? Dr. Bhaskar, if you have a question. Dave, I know you're a student and you've been here, so good. Just feel. Som, you've been pretty interactive. Now is the time to ask. So even if you're not, it's fine. You only get once a while to learn. Esteemed professor. I didn't get into IIT-Madras computer science. So I was just lamenting into him. I was not smart enough to learn from you. But now is a great time, guys. So just ask any questions. Even if you don't know the spelling of blockchain, just ask. That's the future, definitely. Don't be left behind. Don't go after some legacy technologies I went 10 years ago. So now is the time. Please ask any question. What will it take, etc. Right.
Hello, sir. This is Sharath here.
Okay.
So I have a question regarding the first point that you discussed regarding the trust of cryptocurrencies.
Yes.
So I think last week only there was some fake cryptocurrency cropping up, like something related to Squid Games or something like similar to that. And there has already been the first case of fraud in terms of cryptocurrency. So
there are lot many. Only now Indian press has taken some note because now it is becoming slightly popular item. But then this is not the first one. There are so many fraudulent things that have happened in the cryptocurrency. People have lost money. The point is, there is always a gap between what is ideal and then what is practiced. That's because humans are involved at every level, right? So you can have mechanisms that will deter, prevent, but there is nothing like 100% security or 100% fraud-free thing anywhere. No system can be perfect. The system can be made more perfect, more robust. And if there are obvious weaknesses, they can all be eliminated so that the life of an attacker can be made as miserable as you can have only deterrents for the fraudulent cases. But that is not going to stop the people. Yeah, you have so many laws against corruption. Has it stopped corruption? There are so many laws against theft and murder and other. Did it stop murdering? That will always happen. So we need to only say from the system point of view, if this is one of the potential crimes, but how is that avoided? And this is the way, and how is it prevented? And if it is done, what will be the kind of a loser the perpetrator would suffer? All these things we can discuss, right? But in real world deployment, in spite of all mechanisms, right, there will always be some breach somewhere and something that is going to happen. But what is important is people will learn from that, and then they will become smarter. They will add additional features, or they will enhance it. And that is why you have versions and versions and versions. It's impossible for one human brain or few brains to think of millions of human brains and design a system. You think, but then one of those million outside is creating an attack. Now you realize that, oh, I see, this is the way to do it. I didn't even expect that this is. So this is going to happen. That's the reality. Okay. Therefore, we are trying only to build a robust system. Currently, the system is pretty robust. That is all we can say. never, ever I can say I have a foolproof system. Two reasons. One, I have no idea of all the attacks that the entire human race is going to do in future. I have probably a defense mechanism of the frauds done in the past, which can be prevented because I know what that is done, how it's done, and I can have a safeguard mechanism for that. But for the future, human mind is very creative mind. Is there a last poem on love? No. Still, it's the same emotion, but you can see it's coming and coming. So the human brain works in a very, very different way. It's very creative. Impossible to guarantee future proof. So, to answer your question, it's going to happen, even in future. However, we are going to only reduce the probability of that happening. We will incorporate a lot of deterrents that such things do not happen or such thing doesn't really give big gain. So people won't do those kind of frauds. That's the way we do it. And that's the reality. That's the reality with respect to any system. Right? So, but you will get plenty of attacks that are done in the past and frauds that are done, attacks on this system, weaknesses in the system. Like you implement in a software. If the software has got a bug or if the system which is implementing has been compromised or attacked, it is not the flaw in the logic. The logic is created with certain, but then in the practical deployment, I get into certain problems. Most of the problems reported are of that nature. If there is an inherent system weakness, that will have a lot of consequences. Such things are seriously addressed and avoided. And it is often debated, reviewed, revised, enhanced, and that's a continuous process. There is no end for robber and police game. As long as Earth is there as a physical entity in the universe and human beings are there as living creatures in this Earth, you will have the police and robber game. That one-upmanship will keep going forever, yin yang, black and white. Of course, you can make cryptocurrencies. You can design. It is possible. But only thing is that the software skill that is needed, you can come up with a design, but the software skill that is needed to put that into practice is enormous. And then who will trust you? I can propose a system. Who will trust? Who will buy? Who will use it? Why should they use it? If I simply write in a sheet of paper, this was 10,000 rupees, who will trust that? Therefore, you need an ecosystem. It's not the creation that is important. It is the ecosystem in which it is operating that is important. That is because it is not an individual application. If it is an individual application, see, I have some problem with my computer. I don't like the way in which my screen is giving the design. So I want to change it. I can write a program and I can change it. And that's between me and my system. A software, a program, an application is written. I use it. I don't depend on this. But this one is not like that. A cryptocurrency that you design must have the acceptance by a large mass for deployment, for use and other things. So the challenge is different. It is not the design. It is a deployment and building of the trust. That is important here. There are more than 900 cryptocurrencies have been designed, proposed, floated, white papers are written, technical details are available, it is there on the web, there are names. None of them survived. No takers. Absolutely no takers. It died. You can see the huge list. No survivors. Therefore, people don't spend their energy in creating a new cryptocurrency. Where do they spend their energy? In making a better use of the existing one. That is where they spend. So they go deep into the current deployment, and if they find a weakness, how to repair it, or if they find a new way of using it in a better way for more profit, coming up with such solutions. That's why, as somebody asked, DApp and other things, more energy is going towards that than creating a new currency. It is eminently possible, but then the energy needed to create an ecosystem, sustain, popularize, building the trust in the minds of 10,000 others, it's becoming increasingly hard. So no survivors and no takers for close to 900 currencies. For all of them, white paper is available, documentation is available, initial program and other thing is available, experimental results are available. It simply died in the same lab where it, or with the same bunch of guys where it was created. Yes, a lot of number theory and cryptography is used. If you have a mathematical background, there will be a delightful, you will enjoy a lot more by going through more math in this. I will give pointers to you. I will always give pointers to additional reading. Those who want to pursue and those who have the necessary background can always pursue in those directions. Additional materials I will give other than what is to be discussed in the class. You are welcome. Your mathematical background can be used to understand better, to enjoy more, and to learn much more than what is discussed in the class. You are welcome with the math background. Okay. Here, are we using any cloud computing concept? Yes, cloud computing is a must. Although we are not going to use the cloud computing tools or software and other things for this, clouds are used. And it is going to become one of the future integrating factor. Clouds are going to answer one of the key questions posed by blockchain technology, namely scalability. Blockchain maintains the record of all transactions done from day one. It doesn't delete any of them. It's going to grow forever. It's a one-way growth, append-only data structure, where the information is going to scale up forever and ever and ever. That's the model. To address this kind of scalability, the individual systems and other things obviously will face the limitations. At this moment, already it is beyond the limitation of an average computing facility holder. Okay, and in future it's going to become only more and more complex and other things. That's a challenge to be faced in the future. So cloud computing, the cloud administration, it will become very useful for the person who is maintaining and managing these resources. It's not insisted as a part of the system. System won't tell you whether you should put Bitcoin in cloud or not. That won't tell you. It's you, for your convenience, may operate it using a cloud. In that case, it's your personal preference to use a cloud. The system doesn't demand. It is a peerless network on which the whole thing operates. Cloud is not a part of that. If one of the individuals would like to incorporate the cloud, he is welcome to use that. That is his decision. But use of the cloud is not the part of the system demand. It is the strategy deployed by individuals who select to use that because they are familiar with it or because they are available to him or her. It's done. Right? Therefore, integration of cloud computing to blockchain technology is done at the individual level, but not at the system level. You quoted about Hyperledger by IBM. Is it open source? No. It's a proprietary technology. For everything regarding Hyperledger, you just have to contact IBM. They are the people who hold the rights for. They are the creators and they are the maintainers and managers and everything related to that. Therefore, IBM is the source for that. Okay. So,
yeah, I think all the questions are done, sir. So,
good.
yeah, we can. I think just do the conclusion.
Thank you very much. So thank you for your patience and participation. I look forward to see you all in the formal course. Let's have more interaction formally during the course coverage and lectures and so on. All the best for you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Pandurangan, for taking your time out on a Sunday evening. I know I requested a few sessions so that the audience also knows a little bit about blockchain and
absolutely. Look at the questions they get. I have a math background. I'm excited that I want to do something in cryptography and other thing. Is Hyperledger proprietary? So the profile of the audience is clearly they have familiarity, they have knowledge, they are talking about the recent attack that has
all of them are my students. All of them are my AI students.
Fantastic. It's nice. Glad to know that they are pretty open and be aware of quite a few things. We will formalize their awareness. Now they might have collected bits and pieces in an ad hoc manner here and there. Through this course, we will make the whole knowledge very comprehensive, systematic, and then give them a good curtain raiser and icebreaker. We will do that.
No, thank you for your time. And, let me mute everybody who's speaking. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for once. Sorry. So thank you everybody for your time once again. And so the idea was to just unlock, for those of you who are a little familiar reading the news, etc. Great. Some of us are watching ads on IPL, World Cup, etc. But it's important to really understand what is a frontier technology, really go deep. Deep meaning at least sit formally in a course, learn, unlearn, then you can have an informed consent, right? Everybody forms opinions, like 785 crore people are doing that. But try to understand something basics, not just from maybe this course, you could take any other course, but try to understand. I continue to believe that people who invest in frontier technologies, everybody has only 24 hours of time, everybody from us to Bill Gates, but if you invest in a legacy technology, you'll be left behind. If you invest in the future, you'll definitely be able to shape the future. I continue to believe that. So I think we have been very fortunate to get Professor Pandurangan and obviously IIT-Madras into this. Thank you once again for all your time and efforts. Wonderful questions, guys. Details of the course, I think you know more than 50-60%. Continue to give a little more detail as time progresses, maybe in the next 1 or 2 weeks. That is up to me. I'll take care of all the logistics, and Pixeltests will take care of all of that. And as you can see, Professor Pandurangan has a very workshop style, doesn't believe in the slides, and also he's a lot more sort of, the pedagogy system is something you've just been, and is also very hilarious. I found it very hilarious in terms of the examples. So please leverage this opportunity for your best. Invite your friends, invite your spouses, etc. This is a hot technology. Don't miss. No reason why India should not be in the next big league, right? So Web 3.0, 2.0, and all is the future. Thanks for your time, guys. Now I'm going to shut this off. Thanks and have a great night.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. And some of the members are also from outside the community. Thanks. Welcome.